I'm Sally Rosenbaum. Welcome to my channel. I painted again today this morning like I always do. And it's a figure this time. So I thought I'd take you along with me and talk you through some of the decisions I had to make. Again, I'm painting from a photograph of something that I staged and rearranged many times and took different views of, like I generally do. And I have painted it with a lot of different color palettes, not this exact photo, but some photos, which is something that I really enjoy doing. I like to explore different palettes. One of the things when you're laying out the colors that you're going to choose, you make determinations on what what you want to focus on, whether it's a warm palette, a cool palette, or if it's a primary palette, or if it's the secondary colors. A lot of artists will choose to lay out a warm and a cool of the red, yellow, and blue. And then it's up to you to decide which red, yellow, and blue you're going to use, because there are just so many colors, and all of the different brands that are available in your art stores now are, the ultramarine blue in Winsor Newton might be different in, say, Grumbacher or Old Holland, or a different brand. So you'll have to explore yourself, and you find the colors that you like. I can only share with you the ones that I've chosen. And again, like in my other video of a paint along, I have shown the colors down below in the description so that you can take a look and choose to see if you'd like to try them. Anyway, let's get going, and I'll show you how I painted this one. This one's a little shorter video. I was painting and somehow I paused it and didn't finish the complete video. So I have 3/4 of the painting on video, and a lot of talking, and then I have the end of the painting on video, and then the final version. So let's get started. Okay, here I am toning the canvas. I pretty much always tone the canvas, and again, like another video, I have decided to use burnt sienna. Burnt umber, raw umber, any of those colors will create kind of a nice foundation for you to work with. That will create a lot of nice vibrations, which is pretty much what I'm looking for in my paintings. So I've decided to paint this lovely lady. She's a friend from several years ago. We worked together, and she was kind enough to pose for me. And we have a navy blue skirt, and we chose yellow sunflowers because I think they create a really nice palette to work from. So now what I'm doing, and I'm drawing a rectangle around the shape of the hard part, which is the figure you want to get right. The rest of it I don't care. The background and stuff like that I can be pretty subjective about. I don't have to get it exactly right. Okay, right there I made a mistake. I will correct that in a minute. So I'm using alizarin crimson on my brush to line in the major shapes, because I think that it creates a nice harmony, and it works really well with the green and with the burnt sienna. Okay, I'm starting the drawing, my lines, and I will proceed to just kind of get little indications of where I need my main shapes to go. And I will also start grouping the shadows and the lights, because that's what makes a painting, is the shadow and the light part. I like to bring a hat into a composition because it creates some mystery and it creates some nice shadows. And plus, if you take that diagonal that the hat creates and it just takes your eye to a place on the canvas that it's in harmony with the composition. So it's just good to have all those diagonals. I'll show you in another drawing when I get there how you can design your figure. The human figure and the landscape lend themselves very well to flat planes because they are pretty much in harmony with the golden mean, and I mean they definitely are. There's no doubt about it, and they transfer really easily onto the main canvas. Okay, now I'm trying to just sort of get the outline correct of the shadow, and this is going to be a shorter video because at some point when I was refining it, I didn't realize that my recording was off, but you'll probably like that because some of the recordings are long. I'll walk you through it and show you how it ends up. But here I am, still working. Okay, now I'm still working with the alizarin crimson. I haven't added any colors yet. My hand's in the way. I'm just trying to block in now. I mean, her face is clearly in the dark. I absolutely have to cut in, as they say. You're looking at the negative spaces a lot of the time. That's how you cut in. And it really adds to the quality of the painting because you're overlapping some of the colors, and what that tends to do is blur the edges, and that's a real positive characteristic of paintings, to have blurred edges in this style of painting. I'm sure that that's true. Okay, now that's clearly I've got to tone down that face and get the hair in the face looking a little bit more, but I just definitely want to have an underpainting of red on the face because the flesh is warm. Wherever you have flesh, you tend to have some nice red redness that shows, it shows life. It shows the real thing going on underneath the blood. So I'm working side by side. If I didn't have the if she was in front of me modeling, it would be the same thing I'd be doing. I'd be drawing the rectangle around it, and I would be grouping the darks and the lights, because that's just what you do when you're painting. The reason I don't paint from life is because, first of all, it's harder. You gotta call everybody up and get them to come over and get dressed and sit still for a couple of hours, and nobody wants to do that. Every once in a while you might get a family member to do that, but you can. I just don't. I'll try it sometime. I don't even think my kids would sit still for as long as it takes. So now I'm trying to bring a little color into it, and this is an Indian yellow, and I've listed it in the description. I like the Winsor Newton Indian yellow. All Indian yellows are definitely not the same. Indian yellow is a color that I love because it's got an almost metallic nature to it. And what it is they say it's back before they were making synthetic colors, it would be the it's a color taken from it doesn't sound very appetizing, from the urine of cows that lived in a certain place that were eating, I think it might be saffron, I could be wrong, But now they make it more synthetically. But anyway, it has a way of it's transparent, which I like, and it works really well with my other palette colors. Now I'm going to take a lot of liberty on the background here because I do not want to put those railings in. She was sitting on her deck, and the railings I think are a distraction, though I have painted them in other paintings. I'm just going to make it sort of a confusing thing. I'm going to make it so that it's just a background with some lightness and some darkness. The background, it was a sunny day, it was noon, but this was taken with Kodachrome, and Kodachrome tends to wash out the background. You don't get that problem nowadays with your digital camera, which is wonderful. The digital camera is a great addition to the artist's arsenal of equipment. All art can be viewed in context with the technology of the times. That's why you have the Impressionists were the first out of the gate to start using some of the beautiful colors that were created by Winsor Newton, a paint company in England that started manufacturing colors and putting them in tubes. So instead of having to go out and mine your chemicals, your elements, you got to, and then grind them and mix them with an oil, a linseed oil, and then store it in some kind of animal skin, usually a pig's bladder. They were now able to go to a store and pick up tubes of paint that they could put a cap on, and colors that they'd never seen before. So that's one of the reasons why you have the Impressionists. Before that, you had people painting earth color landscapes. And look to the technology whenever you want to understand the historical location of art. Okay, so now I'm painting the back. I'm glad I have this on tape. So I'm showing it. I think I'm using some either sap green and white or viridian and white. There's a lot of light in this area that's coming down, and you can hear my washing machine making its little song. Okay, there we go. I decided to put some colors over that to kind of quiet it. I'm not going to paint it as dark as it is. I'm going to keep the value range in only about 3 or 4 steps apart. Okay, now I'm trying to get a little bit of an understanding of how that shirt goes. And you have her shoulder is on the plane that is flat to the sun, and then the front of her shoulder blade there is going to be a little darker because it's in a little bit of shadow there. This is I'm putting down some ultramarine blue. It tends to look a little bit green when it's on top of the burnt sienna. But I'm filling that spot in, and there's you can see with a napkin that there's an indication of a knee right there. And I'll make note of that in just a second. Yeah, we'll work a little bit on making, kind of suggesting the appearance of a chair that she's sitting on. I'm not going to worry myself sick about that chair, which I've definitely done in the past, trying to get everything. Some of the more successful paintings are often paintings where you leave you just sort of suggest things. You pick and choose what you're going to focus on. And it's the difference between, total realism and a little more impressionistic or a little more abstraction going on. All right, now what are we going to work on? I'm going to try to establish that line where the flesh is, because that flesh is definitely important, that forehand. She's got another arm that's in the back that's going to fade into the background. And sometimes I have color on my brush, and I may have used it and drawn it up for a specific reason. And after I've put it where I want it to be, sometimes it's kind of harmonizing to sort of salt and pepper it around, because you want unity. You're striving towards unity. So the fewer colors you use, you're often going to have a more successful painting because they're related. It's like anything. It's like interior design. You pick your palette and you limit it. If you're getting dressed in the morning and you're picking your jacket and your shoes and your belt and all that, you kind of want them to harmonize or reflect, repeat each other. The same thing goes for paintings. Okay, we're trying to get that arm in there. I can see that. And the hand. Her hand's in a super awkward position. But maybe I'll just skip the hand for now and work on the magazine. Okay. Almost coming to the end of this film, but you can see, there we go. We're putting in the lightness of the hand. And I'm using a cadmium and a yellow mixed with white with a touch of blue. But it's, it's mostly in a very, very, very light tone, a light key. Okay, now we're going to get the magazine. She was reading a magazine there. And there it is. That extends the lightness. Okay, I think we've come to the end of this tape. Now here we are closer to the end, and I'm tweaking it a little bit, and I'll just show you how it looks at the end, and I will give you the final picture in just a moment. It's transformed into this. Okay, that's it. That's that painting. I never paint a painting the same way twice. It's always different. So you will see lots more. I hope if this video has been of value to you or you enjoyed it in any way, that you will give me a thumbs up and subscribe and be a part of our YouTube channel. And if you have any comments of improvements I could make, I would love to hear the comments. Or if there's anything that you liked, I'd love to hear about it in a comment below. Until next time, see you later.